How do you keep up your spirits on a day when blood sugars are consistently way too high and nothing seems to help? Take comfort in the good parts of the day. Like today, when we spent 10 hours on a train going from north to south in Poland. The ride was super comfy and the 200 and 300 readings were a mere annoyance. And by the time we arrived in Kraków, I was even down in the 100s. Hi, I'm Jeremy. Thanks for watching. Masayo and I have only seen the northern part of Poland so far, and today we headed from Malbork all the way down south to the famed city of Kraków. Poland is a large country, and unfortunately we are having to miss large swaths of it to make sure we have time for the other destinations on our list. You could easily spend months traveling around Poland. Maybe on a future trip I'll be able to come back and see some things we're missing this time. Thanks to diabetes, my day began early. Blood sugar woke me up at 6:30, not because it was low, but high, 289. It's unusual for a high to stir me from my slumbers, but something weird has been happening since yesterday. I've been high, but they aren't regular highs. Anyway, I took 3 units of Humalog and went back to sleep. Later on, someone brought breakfast to our room. It was simple, but delicious and filling. Eggs, rolls, tomatoes, lunch meat, cheese, and coffee. You've heard me bitch about coffee a few times so far on this trip. Usually it's because a cafe will give me a paper cup only half filled with coffee. Well, today was a new mystery for us coffee rubes. In our mugs, there was half liquid coffee and half raw grounds. Neither of us are particular about coffee, but dumping great wads of gritty grounds right into the mug was bewilderment on another scale. We tried to kind of drink around it, but ended up with it all over our tongues anyway. Then we figured, we're supposed to scoop it out. So we did that, leaving mounds of glistening crystals covering the saucers. It didn't work anyway. Finally, we gave up and used our own instant coffee stash. Call us uncultured, but I couldn't conceive of the reasoning behind this peculiar form of coffee. And I'm sure the staff at the guest house were equally baffled by our saucers full of wet coffee grounds. Let's call it a draw. I assumed my early morning shot had brought me down fine, so I didn't check before eating. Soon afterwards, though, I went out to see Malbork Castle one last time from our balcony and checked there. 361. I was stunned and gamely shot up some more Humalog. We checked out, and after walking through the town of Malbork one last time, getting some final alternate views of the mighty castle, lovely in the overcast autumn air, and a buoyant little downtown area with its shops, its vibe of relaxed friendliness, and the elegant booty. We got to Malbork station and bought some snacks for the trip, just in case there's no food aboard the train. We needn't have worried. Polish trains are in fact wonderful. The green seats and bright lighting made the ride very pleasant. There were very few other passengers on the train, and someone came around frequently with free tea or coffee for us. Filled to the top and no grounds. And there was a dining car, although we didn't go. I just sat and admired the, dull landscape outside. And of course the ungraspable names of the stations we passed. It's a good thing that the interior of the Polish train was so agreeable, because it got dark about 3:30 p.m., so there was little to look at except our immediate surroundings. The seats had power outlets, so we watched videos on my laptop to pass the time. Otherwise, I'd get out of my seat and explore the weird mixture of excitement and cabin fever that comes from being willingly cooped up on a train all day long. Around 3 p.m. I was still 259, out of the 300s at least. We had a simple snack of yogurt and a donut, and I took a bunch of Humalog for it. Our train was stopping about once per hour, even though not many people were getting off and on. At one station I checked, expecting good news, and was slapped in the face with a 321, and I have no idea why. Dinner was a sandwich and chips, and another large Humalog shot. This has to work eventually, right? At Warsaw Station, the crowds came. Almost every seat was now full, an army of new friends, or invaders occupying our personal train, depending on one's perspective. The Warsaw to Kraków route is popular indeed. There were no stops between the two cities. I keep saying on these videos how I don't like arriving in a big new city late on a Saturday, yet we seem to do it every week. So it was tonight. We pulled into Kraków at the height of the weekend, unsure of what chaos might await us as we stumbled through town in between the revelers with our big bags and confused expressions. Again, we needn't have worried. Our hostel is in Old Town, and the place was undeniably gorgeous and welcoming, like Gdansk had been, but livelier. The atmosphere was cheerful here in Kraków, and nobody paid us much attention at all. The Tulip Hostel, where our room was waiting thanks to Booking.com, sits in a remarkable location, on the south edge of Old Town, our second-floor room and its balcony overlooking a winding side street. A statue salutes from across the road, and trams plug along the lines, dodging cars and pedestrians. How European can you get? We've reserved 4 nights here, an eternity for us, and the longest stay of the trip so far. There is a lot to see in and around Kraków. Once checked in, I found my blood sugar to be 240. At least the balcony backdrop was nice. Dinner was from a takeout pizza place nearby, and I had a can of beer too. After dinner, my first decent reading of the day came, 149. I should perhaps have just been happy with it and gone to sleep, but I thought I might be dropping lower, so I had some juice before bed. I'll have to wait until tomorrow morning to see if this was a dumb move, and if so, how bad the damage will be. Then again, maybe I'll wake up with a perfect 100. Maybe? Come on, Kraków, work your Sunday morning magic. Good thing and a bad thing. I haven't mentioned it, but I like the fact that Poland uses its own currency. A lot of countries on this trip use the euro. As a former coin collector, I do appreciate the localness of a unique currency. Here's to the zloty! The bad thing about today was that we ate sandwiches instead of using the train's dining car. If only I'd known. Diabetes thoughts. The average reading today was 270. 270! If that's not the highest daily average of the trip, it's close. Yikes. However, that final 149 has given me hope that the inexplicable high streak of the last 2 days is over. Not sure about the juice I drank though. You can overthink diabetes. Tomorrow is the first of several full days here in Kraków, and we'll spend it seeing the impressive architecture of Old Town, not to mention its more unique touches. There's also a terrible lunch of water and a donut, a hike to something called Wawel Castle, and, incongruously, a Ukrainian dinner. Rice and a thick chocolate drink. I'm sure Humalog will handle that no problem.